Am I posting this video a little late to the trend? Maybe, but in my eyes, I'm right on time. Hey you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Zoe if you don't know me. I'm 22, I live in Sydney, Australia, and you're watching my YouTube channel. Congratulations. So I want to do a 2024 ins and outs video because I've been seeing it everywhere and I kind of love the concept. I feel like it is, I don't know, it just feels very self-growthy. I feel like when we get in the start of the year, everyone's like, I'm going to be better, I'm going to do better, life's going to be great. And I kind of love that mindset. I kind of love a fresh start. So this video is right up my alley and I'm hoping to do more plan with me videos. I did kind of get a little bit sidetracked last year. I just got really overwhelmed. So keep a lookout for those plan with me videos this year. I think they definitely will be happening more. But anyway, if you are not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing because it helps me out a lot. And yeah, we're growing at a steady pace. And yeah, it's really cool to see everyone, you know, commenting and saying hi. And yeah, just wanted to throw that in there in case you felt like you weren't subscribed to enough channels. I am volunteering myself as one you could subscribe to. If you don't know the ins and outs, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Basically, it's like a TikTok / like Instagram trend. People sort of say what they're taking into 2024 and what they're keeping in 2023. And also, they seem to be very lighthearted. They sort of range from like deep to like funny. There's a variety of stuff. So I've kind of done the same. I've kind of done a bit more deep and then a couple of things that are kind of surface level-y. And yeah, I think it's a really fun challenge. And I encourage you all to do the same. Maybe just on the notes app in your phone or in a journal. What are the things you want to do in 2024 and what are the things you don't want to do? So let's get started. So let's start with my ins. I want to be more present. I think I operate in a way where I'm always looking at what's the next thing, what can I tick off my to-do list and keep going and going. I feel like I am constantly in this like future state of being and I'm always planning ahead. I can tell you what I'm doing on the 31st of August. I just like to plan ahead, but whilst being organised is great, sometimes if you plan too far or you're thinking too far ahead, you miss the current moment. And I actually had a friend tell me, my dog's here. Look. Hi. Oh. Actually, I was with a couple of friends and we were talking about, we played this like game, not really game, but we gave each other New Year's resolutions that we thought would be fitting to them. And my friend said that I should be more present. And, you know, sometimes people who are external from you can see things that you can't. And I really thought, wow, if I'm like, clearly I'm talking in a way and I'm acting in a way where even she's picking up on that I'm not very good at being present. So I thought that's definitely something that I need to bring in. Second one is to remind myself that when I'm in public and I feel self-conscious about doing something, I am never going to see those people again, most likely. I've been pep talking that sort of motto and saying that to myself of I'm never going to see these people again. For example, if I am vlogging in public, do I feel self-conscious? Yeah. But am I ever going to see some random guy who watched me do that again? Most likely not. And if I do happen to know them, we can laugh about it. I really am trying to avoid feeling embarrassed for no reason and feeling like, almost like a little shame. Like, who cares? Maybe someone's going to think about it for a second and be like, that girl's weird. And what am I going to do about it? They're going to think I'm weird for 10 seconds and then move on to the next thought. So I just need to think I'm never going to see those people again. I don't care what they think. Next is emotional control. And I guess what I mean by that is sort of having a hold on like an equilibrium and not letting others like penetrate my field of like serenity. For example, you know, say someone beeps me while I'm driving my car. I get a little bit too upset by that than I should. And it's not that I get angry, but it's more that I just am like constantly thinking about it. I'm like, oh, how rude. Like, my thoughts get a little bit too consumed over a small incident like that. I just want to be a little bit more emotionally resilient and have a higher control over my emotions and not let those little things affect me as much. And we do have the power to control our reactions and our thoughts. Our thoughts aren't facts. And that's just something that I really want to work on for this year, because I'm sick of being upset by strangers. Ignore my neighbour, they like to drive their very loud car. Next is communication, especially polite communication. I think we all need to be asserting our boundaries and our values more to ensure that we're not being in a circumstance where we feel unhappy. Because I have come to the conclusion that mismatched expectations is the thief of friendship. I think when you expect your friend to text you all day, every day, and that's not how they roll, we have a clash of communication codes, a clash of expectations. We've got someone holding resentment because their needs aren't being met, and then we've got someone who is unaware of the fact. And I think communication would solve a lot of these issues. You know, when you watch a movie or you read a book and the whole crux of the situation is that it could have been avoided if people just talked to each other, like they were angry at each other or they did something really drastic, and it's like, if you guys just communicated, we wouldn't be here. That's my idea, is to manage expectations and communicate more, and also communicate politely. Just because you're asserting yourself by saying no doesn't mean it has to be in a rude way, and it doesn't mean the person should feel hurt by that as well. You should be able to accept somebody's boundaries being put in place, and if they can't accept that or you can't respect that, then maybe there's some self-work that needs to be done. The next is living in line with my values. Now, I discussed in therapy, because I go to therapy, as a lot of people do, I discussed in therapy what my values were. The values that I identified for myself, I picked 5, but there were a lot to choose from. I picked assertiveness, fitness, fun, self-development, and connection. So when I am, living my day-to-day life, I come home from work, when I'm living my day-to-day life, how am I being assertive? How am I having fun? How am I promoting self-development to myself? How am I incorporating fitness? And how am I fostering connection? So by living in line with your values, you guarantee that you're going to be happier, more satisfied with your life, and overall, it's just a good way to live. So if you haven't already, identify a couple of values and start living by them. I also want to enjoy my alone time more. Recently, I've been finding that I'll be driving home from work. It's about a 30-minute drive, and I call someone on the phone, or I'm listening to music, or I'm listening to a podcast. I really can't be alone with my thoughts. I don't think it's the best way to be. I think I wish that I was more independent and felt okay having that alone time with myself, and I just have found myself recently feeling really uncomfortable. Sunday afternoons for me are often very quiet times of the week, and I don't know if I like spending those alone. I want to fill that time and see people, and I'm like, why can't I just be alone with my thoughts? I don't know if anyone else feels that way. Let me know if you do, but I've just really been struggling with enjoying alone time. So the only way to sort of do that is to just be being alone more and sort of make that a habit. And it's hard, but I think it's worthwhile. Another in is to take an active role in my life. I like this analogy that I had a lecturer at uni bring up, and he was like, you need to be in the driver's seat of your life. And I thought it was a cute analogy. Maybe it's kind of cheesy, but I liked it. And I guess what it meant to me was I am calling the shots. I want to see my friends, I'm going to text them. I want to get a new job, I'm going to make that happen. I'm going to apply. I want to travel, I'm going to book some flights, research some places and make it happen. I think a lot of people often feel maybe like stagnated, or they feel like, oh, I can't do this yet, or I don't know, sometimes you're in this like weird transitional period where you aren't allowed, say you're in high school, you can't just go off and travel. So there's sort of, I guess, limitations to the being in the driver's seat. But I don't think there's anything stopping you from having goals and planning and hoping and dreaming and envisioning things that you want to do. And I think that's an awesome way to be ambitious. And I want to be in the driver's seat of my life this year, and especially because it's my first year out of school. So I do have a lot more control over what I do with my life, which is scary, but it's also exciting. And I'm one of those people who I'm like, all right, let's get it going. And I like that part of myself. And I want to encourage other people to take a driver's seat in their life and get the things that they want to do done. And you can achieve those things. Yeah, I guess I'm doing that through, I guess, being on YouTube. Like, that is something that obviously comes with, you know, your friends discover it and they'll, I mean, I haven't experienced being made fun of, but I'm sure plenty of people have, and, you know, you're putting yourself out there. But I am sort of pushing past the barriers and doing it. And I think that's what getting in the driver's seat is. Although, if it's a car analogy, you don't want to be pushing past barriers in a physical car on a road, not safe. But in our metaphorical life worlds, go ahead and drive over the speed bumps at a really fast speed. Go ahead and run a stoplight. I don't know. That analogy is strange. Next, movement. So this has become really important to me because I have back pain, neck pain. I am very tense all the time. I am not very strong, like physically strong. So I'm really trying to prioritize movement this year. Movement is in. And I want to walk in my lunch break. I want to prioritize going to the gym after work. I want to, you know, exercise with friends, go for walks with friends, go to the gym with friends. I think it's an important thing to really try to integrate and make part of your routine and part of your habits that you move. And, you know, sometimes having that financial investment in maybe a gym or classes definitely motivates you to get it done. And it's really important to also enjoy the movement that you're doing. Yeah, I think it's something we all need to do more of. Now, my next in is reading. I've been in a bit of a reading slump the last couple months, and it makes me sad because I like reading and I think it's good for you. I want to read more because I want to improve my vocabulary. I want to spend less time on my phone. I want to also improve my attention span. I feel like a lot of people have, I guess in our generation, Gen Z. We kind of, you know, we're the social media generation where we all have phones from a youngish age, and we've always, you know, been on Instagram and TikTok and Vine and all that kind of short form content that we're used to, which is great. But, you know, for those of us who spend hours on these things, we're kind of damaging our attention spans. So I think it's important to slow down, pick up a book, trashy book, whatever, but I think it's important to be reading words on a page. And it's good for better for our eyes as well. I read somewhere that blue light, that emits from our phone is actually bad for your eyes. It's bad for your skin too. Blue light in general is not great. So let's avoid blue light as much as we can. Another in for me is getting a better fashion sense. This year I really want to be investing in clothes as well. I don't want to be buying fast fashion if I can avoid it. I want to be, buying garments that are going to last me a long time, buying timeless pieces, not trying to be sticking to the trends as much, and buying things are worth my while, and also that I think are fashionable. I think I want to put more effort into what I'm wearing. That is sort of something I've been thinking about recently. Now for my outs. Let's get these out and leave them in 2023. Firstly, caring what other people think. I think that's self-explanatory. And preface that, caring about what strangers think. Because we don't know them. I don't care if you're judging me. I don't know who you are. I'll probably never see you again. Comparison. You heard the saying, comparison is the thief of joy. Cliches are cliches for a reason because they're true. Not always, but in this case, we need to enjoy our time and stop comparing timelines. I've noticed that as a 22-year-old, I have a lot of friends who are working full-time as of this year, maybe last year. I have a lot of friends who have a year or two left of uni. And I think it's really easy to feel like, oh, I'm not on track with like my age group, or I'm not where I want to be, I'm not where I should be. The should words are really damaging. And I think it's just important to say, hey, hold on, I'm in my own lane. Like, I'm not racing, I'm not trying to compete, I'm doing my own thing. Just because you are behind or you feel behind now doesn't mean you're always going to be. These things aren't linear either. It's easier said than done, and I think I'm in a bit of a privileged position because I have finished uni. My laptop just fell. I have finished uni at an age that is normative. You spend 3 or 4 years at uni and then you move on to full-time work. So in a sense, I don't have the perspective of someone who took a year or 2 or 3 as a gap year and they're now starting uni now, or they changed their degrees a couple times. But I think it's just important to say everyone's on a different path. And it is interesting because as you get older, as I'm 22, I'm not that old, but I've already noticed the disparity in income, for example. Like my friends who have casual jobs versus me having a full-time job, like we're getting paid different amounts and we have different incomes. And I guess it's all just something to be mindful of and something to be respectful of and something to be non-judgmental of too. Scrolling on Instagram is something that I want to go out, especially reading the comment section, because I don't know about you, but the comment sections have become sort of a mess, and they've become really toxic, and people just like to troll and say controversial things because they think it's funny. And I don't really like getting riled up for no reason over some kind of shit poster. So I don't want to read comment sections anymore. Unless it's like a super harmless like meme. Even then you get some crazy things. I'm sure everyone can relate to reading absolute like just wild comment sections. So I think, why do we feel the need to sort of dig into those and like fall down a rabbit hole? And sort of along this, I don't want to be getting worked up by small things. I don't want to be getting overly emotionally affected by things that don't matter in the grand scheme of things. Now, this is an interesting one, and I don't know what to think about it because I also kind of participated in it. But you know when people say, oh, you ask, how are you? And people say, I'm so busy. I kind of want to leave. This could be maybe controversial, but I want to leave busy as a badge of honor in 2023. And I feel like we like to feel that we're busy, and we like to feel that we're, in demand and we're getting things done. But also I think it's sort of some people use it in a way where they kind of try to feel superior for being busy. And I kind of get that sense sometimes. And I don't know what I think about it. I think it's a bit strange, and I thought using busy as a badge of honor was a good way to sort of describe it. And I kind of personally want to do that less, as well as want to sort of preach that just because you're busy doesn't mean your time is more or less valuable than someone else's, or sort of using it in a way that, yeah, it's sort of like a superiority complex that some people can have that I've noticed. Anyway, those are my ins and outs for 2024. We got quite deep, didn't we? We had a pretty interesting discussion. I hope this was of interest. Let me know. Let me know if I made you think about anything, because that would be cool. It's also getting real dark on me, isn't it? The sun is setting. It's 8 o'clock and I'm actually waiting for my Uber Eats, but they keep pushing it back. I've got someone on a bike and he has sort of been in the same spot for the last 30 minutes. So we're also not going to let those small things bother us. Because I could have made dinner tonight, but I didn't want to. I wanted to order Taco Bell, so that is what I did. Sorry to my body. Anyway, that's all from me today. I'll be posting another video next week, and the week after, and the week after. I'll be seeing you so much soon. But thank you so much for watching my video today. Please consider subscribing to me because it helps out a lot and I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great week. I hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. I hope you are doing well. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!